Hey there, welcome. Christine here with my weekly live stream. Thank you for joining me. I love to share things about the brain in my yoga practices. That's a big focus of what I teach. I just saw that my video is a little off, so give me a second here to. There we go. That's better. Not so good here. I have like two cameras going at the same time. So, all right, there we go. It's still a little off, but okay. Hi, welcome. If you're here, please leave a comment. Let me know where you're coming in from and anything you want me to share in these live streams, which I'm seeing I'm a little off kilter here, but I should have set up my camera better. Okay. So I've been gone for a couple of weeks. Thank you for being back here with me. It was nice to have a break. Actually, my husband and I went to a training in out in Austin, which was so nice. His hands were like the desert. They felt like a desert when we got there. And after a few days, I was like, honey, your skin is soft again. It was nice to get out of the cold and be in a nice warm place. And we just really relaxed and enjoyed ourselves. So it's really nice to be back. Um, and today I want to talk to you about a way. So I love using yoga for the brain. Like that's totally what I'm into, the nervous and the autonomic nervous system, but and the neuroendocrine system and the immune system. But like I'm really into the physiology of yoga more than the anatomy. Not that the musculoskeletal stuff isn't really interesting. I think it's fascinating, but like that's just not as much of my wheelhouse. I'm more interested in the physiology and particularly the neurophysiology. And I just think it's so amazing when you're able to use practices in a way that helps to balance the brain and the nervous system because it just there's such a palpable shift. And even if you're not specifically even if you're not specifically using yoga for brain and nervous system balance, oftentimes you'll have that really noticeable shift from before to after. But I think it's even more palpable, more noticeable when you really are using practices intentionally. So, one of the things that I love to use are what's called cross crawl practices. Cross crawl practices. And cross crawl practices is sort of a umbrella term for both cross lateral and contralateral practices. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So contralateral means I'm using my opposite arm and leg in some way, doing something with the opposite arm and leg. That's contralateral. Cross lateral is when I'm crossing the midline of the body, when I'm doing something that crosses the midline of the body, right? That's cross lateral. And together they're called cross crawl. They've been used in a couple of different ways. One is with children. Unfortunately, there's not a great body of literature with the kids stuff and developmental stuff. I think that is still evolving. I think we'll see more. There are things like there's a bunch of different things that are used with kids, and I think we're going to start to see more literature on how it's really helpful because what cross lateral and contralateral, what cross crawl movements do is they force the hemispheres to connect. They force them to act at the same time because your brain is frugal. It's neurofrugal. It's lateralized. The right side and the left side of the hemispheres do different things. They don't do exactly the same things. They do different things. Now, of course, we have the sensory motor cortices. I always do sensory motor cortices right here, somatosensory. And they are how we move. So, like when I move my right hand with intention, my left brain is firing. When I move my left hand with intention, the right brain is firing. And that's happening that's happening when I'm doing it consciously up in here, but it's also happening like at deeper parts of the brain, all the way into the brain stem that are lateralized as well, because sometimes I'm moving things without thinking about it, right? So this is when I'm thinking about it, like I have to take my left arm out. And that's good because it's helping to develop the cortex, which is more plastic, it's less myelinated, has more room for changing things, and can have some effect on the myelinated stuff. But the myelinated stuff, it's harder to change. Like it's stuff that which is deeper in the brain, it's harder to change. Okay, so It forces the hemispheres to communicate better, and that's a good thing all around because some of the research shows that, like, for example, in depression, there's less communication. And we also know that the big function of the corpus callosum, which is one of the main areas where the brain crosses through the white matter, through the axon, we know that one of the main functions there is inhibition, meaning uh, inhibiting the stress kind of response. That's the way that it's used in neurosciences, right? So it inhibits. It's inhibitory. In other words, it's helping to calm things down, which is one of the reasons why yoga is so amazing because we do it without even thinking about it. We do cross crawl. We do cross crawl stuff all the time. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show today, just a warrior one. So if you took your right foot forward and left foot back, I know you can't see me completely, but that's okay. Right foot forward and left foot back, right? In a regular, so you usually do a warrior one like this, right, with both arms up. So instead, what if you put your right hand on your waist or by your side? You can do either. And when you inhale, bend your left knee and connect in your mind's eye, connect your left hand. Did I say left knee? Right knee. Connect your, it's good for your brain. Connect your right knee to your left hand. And that could be an inhale and that could be an exhale. And you do that a few times. And it's as if my left hand is bending my right knee and they're moving together. My right knee doesn't have to move as far as my left arm is moving. Right? My left arm is moving more than my right leg. So I have to move my right leg slower. All that stuff is like, whoa, your brain's going, what? It's good. It's like forcing you to pay attention. And the key aspect of neuroplasticity, by the way, is attention. It's paying attention. So all this paying attention stuff we do in yoga to movement and sensation is so important for plasticity, for positive plasticity. So especially when you've got like these good feelings associated with it, you bring in feelings of strength and courage, like the warrior, and nice feelings in the body as I'm doing it. I'm not overdoing anything. So I just changed sides because I didn't want to be imbalanced. But it's the same thing. So I'm like inhaling up, I'm talking, but the idea inhale up, exhale down. And you do it a few times because the other key component of well, there's many, but another key component of neuroplasticity is repetition. So the more you repeat, the more the brain starts to get certain things. And movement is everything. Movement is what we do in our life. So you start getting better with the movement, more coordination that's going on in cerebellum, brainstem stuff, more better balance. All of that makes your body feel safer in space, which is an aspect of proprioception, which is really helpful for just walking through the world because you feel safe when you walk through the world. You're like comfortable in your body, can move easily. Like that is incredibly important for the nervous system. So I hope this has been fun and helpful. And let me know what other tips you want me to bring to you in these Wednesday. I try to be here at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. Um, and I'm happy to listen to what your requests are and do videos that are helpful for you. I do have a couple things coming up. My workshop in March in Asheville, I believe it's sold out, but if you are interested, there's probably a waiting list. You can reach out to support@subtleyoga.com. We are going to be doing it's called the Subtle Yoga Golden Ratio Retreat. So we're going to be working with a lot of asanas and pranayama and working on the perfect ratio for you. It's not a golden ratio. And then in April, I have a workshop coming up, which is going to be about chair yoga for strength, flexibility, chronic health challenges. So keep an eye out for that too. And if you're not on our mailing list, feel free to send us an email, support@subtleyoga.com, so we can put you on the mailing list. Thank you so much for being here. See you next week. Lots of love.